Shalom, shalom. All honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and teachers of Great Millstone for teaching me this 100% truth about our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and the true reason why he's coming back, which is to save the elect remnant of the house of Israel from their enemies and those that hate them, and to take over the earth and universe, which was given to him by the mighty, mighty Yahweh himself, the Ancient of Days, wherein our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, will establish righteousness throughout the whole earth and universe forever under the kingdom of the heaven of the Israelites. Shalom, Akim and Akwaf. We one day closer to the kingdom. Back at you with a quick lesson on Esau Edom, a.k.a. Babylon the Great, and the cruel king that they have, DJT. You don't even got to say his name. You know who it is. And the lies that they tell, that they put out to the masses, especially the docile sheep of America. They believe anything the media says without no kind of investigations. Let's get this. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that may otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Fair use in full effect. Now, the scriptures reveal to us who all the players are on the earth. Players meaning nations. And the nation in particular that he deemed to be wicked, that he created to be wicked, was Esau Edom, the so-called modern-day white man. As it reads in Psalms, the 58th chapter, let me see. Let's get it. Look at that. Let me just read this headline. Trump tells military to plan for action over his claim that Nigeria allows killing of Christians. Now, if you was in America and you see that, you'd be like, what? They over there killing Christians in Nigeria? We need to do something because we the hammer of the earth. Or what? I'm sorry. That's what the scriptures call you. Y'all say y'all the defenders of democracy around the world, huh? The world leader. Well, lying again. Let's go back. Let's get it out of here. We're going to come back to Psalm, the 5th chapter. We might as well go to 58, because that's all they do is lie. All right? I start at 1. Psalm 58:1. Do you indeed speak righteousness? No, they do not. Not one so-called modern-day white man. O congregation, do you judge uprightly? O ye sons of men? Right? That was pertaining to us, the Israelites, right? Because of our leadership that we had. From the wicked kings, princes, priests. Read 1 Kings, 2 Kings. Yeah, in heart ye work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. That's for the Edomites. Here go the point. The wicked, meaning the so-called modern day white man. You can read Malachi 1, 1st chapter, Romans, the 9th chapter, right? The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Now, this man said, we're going to get the article, but let me get back to Psalms 5 first. Let's read and see what DJ talking about. Here go the other article. Both of these came out. This came out on the 3rd of November. The first one, the top one came out on the 3rd of November, and the bottom one came out on the 2nd. So let's see. From The Guardian. Trump threatens to go into Nigeria, guns are blazing over attacks on Christians. Now, that's the headline. This ain't nothing but another smokescreen to throw y'all off of what's going on over here in America. Babylon the Great. Because it's continuing to fall. The economy crashed. Government was shut down. Now they trying to get that out the way. I think they finna reopen now. The Senate passed a bill to reopen it. Now it's over at the House. Right? So this ain't nothing but a smoke screen to get y'all off of what's going on. Remember now, he still ain't opened up them what? Them e-files. Donald Trump on Saturday said he had ordered the Pentagon to begin planning for potential military action in Nigeria as he stepped up his criticism that the government was failing to rein in the persecution of Christians in the West African country. West African country, Nigeria. There's a lot of Israelites residing over in Nigeria. So we know, just like Venezuela, what's the bottom line? They Covet Fields. Nigeria is rich in resources, right? If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country. Here, this Donald Trump now. Guns are blazing, disgraced country, as if this country is top notch. To completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities, Trump posted on social media. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attacked our cherished Christians. Now, as I said in the previous lesson, them Israelis, the IDF, didn't bomb churches over in the Gaza Strip, a Catholic church too. They didn't bomb whole villages, took over whole villages in the West Bank. Christians. DJ said nothing. Now, we got some insight on what's going on over there. The country of Nigeria is split. It's like 250 million people. Some say it's 220 million. Half Christians, half Muslims. Now, you got this terrorist group. Let's bring them up. Boko Haram. Right? Boko Haram is a terrorist group, which I seen on a podcast, but I couldn't find it, that a senator admitted that the U.S. government has funded Boko Haram with over $600 million over the years to carry out their dirty work, just like they're using terrorist groups in the Sahel region to go at Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. It's all about the Western hegemony, people. Boko Haram, officially known as Jama'at al-Sunni, Sunni al-Dawa, Wa'at al-Jahid, and sometimes referred to as its state name, Dullah Musalinsi. I'm saying all this wrong. Forgive me, Israel. Is a self-proclaimed jihadist militant group based in northeastern Nigeria and also active in Chad, Niger, northern Cameroon, and Mali. All these places are where Israelites reside, right? Let's go to see. Let's go to this. So all these, just like the French, they funding the terrorists to go at Burkina Faso also because they losing their grip in Africa. So now they want to take over Latin America, which is filled with what? The Northern Kingdom. Let's get to this. We already read that in the last one. Right, in 2016, the group split, resulting in the emergence of a hostile faction known as the Islamic State's West Africa province, Boko Haram. I don't have much in this. Founded by Mohammed Youssef in 2002, the group was led by Abubakar Shakur from 2009 to his death in 2021, although it splintered into other groups after Youssef's death in 2009, as well as in 2015. When the group was first formed, the main goal was to purify, meaning to spread Sunni Islam and destroy Shia Islam in northern Nigeria. Like I said, it's 250 million people there, half Muslim, half Christian in Nigeria. Believing jihad should be delayed until the group was strong enough to overthrow the Nigerian government. The group formally aligned itself with the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant. The group has been known for its brutality, and since the insurgency started in 2009, Boko Haram has killed tens of thousands of people in frequent attacks against the police, armed forces, and civilians. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of more than 300,000 children and has displaced 2.3 million from their homes. So they were scattered, right? They got displaced. Boko Haram has contributed to regional food crises and famines. Funded by who? The American government. After its funding in 2002, Boko Haram's increasing radicalization led to the suppression operation by the Nigerian military and killing of its leader, Mohammed Youssef, in July 2029. Its unexpected resurgence, probably when the U.S. government started funding them, following a mass prison break in September 2010 in Bauchi, was accompanied by increasingly sophisticated attacks, initially against soft targets, but progressing in 2011 to include suicide bombings of the police buildings and the United Nations Office of Abuja. The government's establishment of a state of emergency at the beginning of 2012 extended in the following year to cover the entire northeast of Nigeria, led to an increase in both security force abuses and militant attacks. If I'm not mistaken, Boko Haram is the ones that took over Oprah Winfrey's school that was over in Africa, right? Of the 2.3 million people displaced by the conflict since May 2013, at least 250,000 left Nigeria and fled to Cameroon, Chad, or Niger. Like I said, all these countries, Cameroon, Chad, Niger, on the west coast of Africa, more than likely populated heavily with Israelites from the southern kingdom. Boko Haram killed over 6,600 people in 2014. The group has carried out massacres, including the killing by fire of 59 schoolboys in 2014, and mass abductions, including the kidnapping, this might be right here about Oprah Winfrey School, of 276 schoolgirls in Chibok, Borno State, Nigeria in 2014. Corruption and human rights abuses in the security service have hampered efforts to counter the unrest. They've been whooping people's ass since they came out, right? 2002 and 2009, they started killing people. So why wouldn't the president's alarm then? Let's get some scriptures. It's going to be quick, Israel. They Covet Fields, Psalms 5 and 4. Let's see what the title is. Prayer for protection from the wicked, because it's Israelites over in Nigeria, right? For thou art not a power that have pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish, Edomites, shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Thou shalt destroy them that speak leasing. Yahweh will abhor the bloody and deceitful man. Let's get that in the NLT. Because your days are numbered. Soon come, as it reads in the book of Obadiah. First verse, it's only one chapter, the 15th verse. As thou hast done, shall be done unto thee. Let's read that in NLT, Psalms 5 and 4. O Most High Power, you take no pleasure in wickedness. You cannot tolerate the sins of the wicked. Therefore, the proud may not stand in your presence. Who more prouder than DJ, other than BB? For you hate all who do evil. You will destroy those who tell lies. Yahweh detests murderers and deceivers. That would be who? Esau, Edom. That's why in Revelation 6 and 4, there was a horse that was red. Who was that? The Edomites. Let's get this. Can we bring this up? Shalaki. Go back to the KJV. We bring this up all the time. Future prophecy. And this is an indicator to let you know who the players are on the earth. Who do this? What nation of people do this? Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the hand of it is in the power of their hand. It's the Edomites, the so-called modern-day white man. He in America threatening to go to war with Venezuela. He want to invade Nigeria, right? Look at the condition of Haiti. even Puerto Rico. And they covet fields and take them by violence. Did they not do that when they came over here with that manifest destiny to the Western Hemisphere? As they do today with their colonialism, imperialism, they still trying to implement that. That's why they want Venezuela. That's why they want Haiti. That's why they want Colombia. Why? They got natural resources. Why they want Nigeria? It's all about the resources. We're going to play 2 clips. One from George Calloway and one from Kim Iverson, right? Fair use is in full effects. Micah 2:2. And they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Future prophecy for you Edomites. Verse 3. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily. For this time is evil. The sons of perdition continually being exposed. What is that? 2 Thessalonians 2? Yeah. Right? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. But the Lord got something for you, man. You will not succeed. Because they ain't doing nothing but lying. Now, the Boko Haram, the terrorist group, they killing Muslims too. Not just Christians. They killing Muslims and Christians. They eliminating everybody over there. If you like it. This ain't what I want. I want Psalms 140. The Department of War. They call themselves the Department of War. I'm going to play it after this. Prayer for protection against the wicked. Psalms 140:1. Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man. Say they over there killing Christians. We finna go over there and help them. Why y'all ain't applying that to them Israelis? They doing the same thing. They done bombed a church. I done said this a couple times too in lessons. They just bombed a church over in Syria. Which imagine mischiefs in their heart. They go to point for the Department of War, led by who? Head, Self, and DJ. Continually are they gathered together for war. Let's drop down to 4. Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. Now let's get this. Fair use is in full effect.
I don't know what's wrong with y'all generation.
We'll go with this one first. Listen up.
Now, Donald is not, how shall I put it, the best read person on the planet. I know that he's sharp.
You heard we just called him the best read person on the planet. Edomites.
I know that he's a shark in business, but he doesn't know much about the world. He doesn't know much about geography. He doesn't know much about history. He doesn't know much about demography. So this next lesson is for him. There are 250 million people in Nigeria. Half of them are Christians and half of them are Muslims. There is an ISIS, Al-Qaeda terrorist offshoot called Boko Haram, which has been slaughtering Muslims and Christians for decades in Nigeria. And no American president has done jack about it or even spoken about it until now. Makes you wonder what it was exactly that woke up Donald Trump to the situation in Nigeria. This Boko Haram come out of the same stable as the ISIS and Al-Qaeda offshoot, which has just been received with all honors in the White House. And you know to whom and to what I refer. Western countries spent an entire decade and more assisting ISIS and Al-Qaeda to take over Syria, where they engaged in exactly the same kind of slaughter and bloodletting on their own video cameras as we've seen this week in Sudan. So what exactly is the difference between ISIS and Al-Qaeda in Nigeria, who have to be all guns blazing, destroyed viciously, he said, by Donald Trump, and the Al-Qaeda and ISIS that were received in the White House just a couple of weeks ago? What's the difference between one ISIS and another ISIS? The answer.
The difference is they got control of Syria now. so they can control that pipeline that's supposed to go through Syria to help Europe with their oil. It's always something with these Edomites, man. Greed, control, and they Covet Fields. Now, at the same time, they destroying artifacts in Syria to cover up who? The lies that them 48 fakers have made. That's why they destroying churches. That ain't no military stronghold where they keeping weapons and nothing. That you straight up destroying churches and mosques because they got stuff that reveal the facts of who the true children of Israel are.
Of course, is entirely opportunistic. We supported ISIS and Al Qaeda in Syria, but they want us to believe that the Western countries oppose it in Nigeria. Now, Russia is fighting ISIS and Al Qaeda in Burkina Faso, in Mali, where ISIS and Al Qaeda are on the march and on their advance.
So, like I just said, in the Shia countries, Mali and Burkina Faso, they broke away from the French. So the French and the Americans, the Western hegemony, these Edomites, paying these terrorists to attack them.
Donald Trump isn't offering to help there. He's offering to help Nigeria by invading a country. Donald Trump isn't offering to help there. Russia is fighting ISIS and Al Qaeda in Burkina Faso, in Mali, where ISIS and Al Qaeda are on the march and on their advance. Donald Trump isn't offering to help there. He's offering to help Nigeria by invading a country of 250 million people. Now, Donald is...
That's all we need from that. And let's play this from the Cam Iverson show. Nigerian genocide. Now listen to this African dude speak. Just Ham. Well, he might not be Hamite.
Say goodbye to shoulder pain. Why not check out the Anaconda shoulder brace?
Boko Haram officially kicked off in 2009.
Let's start it over.
Tell us about you said that there's an ethnic and a religious, people are being killed. Tell us about that what is actually happening with that.
Right. So I think you could trace this.
Shalaki, look at the title. Nigerian genocide. The truth will stun you. It don't stun the elect because we already know. We filter everything through the scriptures. These Edomites, they Covet Fields. Now watch he say it.
To sometime in what we know as Boko Haram officially kicked off in 2009. But this sort of newfangled pattern of widespread, almost like random violence against very large groups of people, which doesn't really seek to accomplish a specific target, like destroy a building or something, but it's like just trying to clear out entire areas and displace entire areas of people. I would say this began sometime around 2014, 2015. And for the longest time, it has been a bit of a mystery that what exactly is the objective of these people? Because if they claim that it's a religious thing, they're trying to get rid of Christians or African traditional religion people, and they want to set up an Islamic caliphate, which is what they claim they do, then why on earth are they killing Muslims? Because the part of the story which I guess isn't told enough, as I mentioned earlier, is that more Muslims than anyone else have died.
Why didn't they bring that up? They killing Muslims and Christians. More Muslims than Christians. And what DJ say? We're going to have to invade your country for messing with them Christians. They want the fields, man. Check out what he gonna say.
In this pattern of violence. So if say 100 people die in this area, maybe 45 of them or 40 of them might be Christians. Those ones might be the ones to get the media coverage. But the other 60 will be Muslims. And nobody talks about it, I guess because it's inconvenient. You can't call it a genocide. You can't call it religiously motivated, because if a Muslim kills a group of Muslims, what do you call that? Yeah. So it falls into this weird, I guess, memory hole. So that has been the situation where it almost seems as if like people didn't really understand for the longest time, until I believe it was in 2022, a guy who used to be under Nigeria's former military president, Sani Abacha. This guy was essentially Abacha's chief of staff. His name is Hamza Al-Mustafa. He came out and gave an interview which many people, myself included, didn't necessarily take that seriously at the time. But in hindsight, everything he said was absolutely true. He said that the only statistical model that these killings follow, the only thing you can use to make sense of these killings is not religion, it's not ethnic dispersion, it's not anything like that, that it's actually natural resource deposits. That these areas where these patterns of large scale displacements happen almost invariably happen to the areas which are rich in certain resources that certain people, that certain interests want. So where you have a human settlement of 10,000 people living on top of a deposit of lithium or something, obviously this is people's ancestral land. They're not going to vacate it. If you ask them nicely, they're not going to leave it, and they're not going to sell it to you either. It's their land. So what do? You create a violent what's the term I'm looking for? But you essentially create something, a situation so violent for them that they have no choice but to leave. They become internally displaced people in Nigeria, and then the place that used to be their home then becomes this big open pit mine. And then you have all sorts of things happening. You have in Nigeria, this is a thing that happens. You can confirm this. You have planes flying from air.
Did you hear that? That's all we need from that. And let me retract the statement. He might not be a Hamite. He got to be an Israelite. Ain't too many Hamites rocking no beards. So Israel, we know the wiles of the devil. Let me see. Ephesians 6 and 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High power, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And the only armor you can get that's going to help you is the armor of the Most High power. These scriptures, right? Guess what, Israel? Each day, these Edomites continue to be exposed for the wicked that they are. Shalaki, let me see. I'll get one more. I think this. That's not what I want. This is what's going to happen. Future prophecy. It's for these Edomites. Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands could not perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fraud is carried headlong. You can come up with that fake narrative if you want to. They killing Christians. We may have to invade them. Nah, they killing Muslims too. So what you actually want? Oh, some American corporation or French corporation. Some Edomite corporation must want them natural resources. They need them. And they trying to break up what China doing in Africa and in Latin America. We one day closer to the kingdom. Shalom.